And we are back. We are continuing our series on brain-computer interfaces, BCIs. Let's jump straight back in with it and carry on with the introduction. So, rapid technological development, especially during the last 30 years, has led to the increased scientific interest in using biomedical data of various types and for many purposes, including communication, movement control, environmental control, neurorehabilitation, rehabilitating people with brain injuries, brain diseases, etc. It is also related to the rapid development of the cognitive sciences, which include the following areas. Cognitive psychology, yep, definitely think there's a big development there. Artificial intelligence, whoa, yeah, flying off into space, potentially literally. Neuroscience, yeah, huge advances in neuroscience. Linguistics, I think especially in the more technical aspects of linguistics, especially kind of like AI applied to linguistics, linguistic patterns, that kind of stuff, pattern recognition, yeah, really kicking off as well. Anthropology, yes, this is also one of my little side interests, like in case if you haven't noticed from other stories, yeah, well, and the stories, but from other videos, anthropology is a fascinating area to me. In particular, the hominid expansion and explosion. So not just the out of Africa, but the period when there was the huge diversification, when we had Denisovans, Neanderthals, we even had some of the older species still kicking around, like Homo habilis and Erectus, and other sort of vague hominids, and we had giant orangutan-like monsters. We had I forgot the name of this one now, but the upright apes that were tall and stood tall, but were grass eaters. The Homo florensis, the Hobbit people, just amazing. Like it's a fascinating time period. I think I would quite enjoy maybe writing a short story or a novel set in that time period, because it is the closest we've had to, like Lord of the Rings, modern, Dungeons and Dragons style fantasy settings. There were multiple sapient races all around at the same time. And we've had a tremendous increase in our understanding of hominid history and early human anthropology. Just not only in the digs, also genetics, and again, sort of AI-backed tools for deciphering stuff and decoding things from remains. The archaeology aspect of early language, and picking up things from using AI to pick up stuff from Egyptian papyrus that were recycled into mummies, all sorts of things. It's just blowing up in this area. Philosophy, like connected to philosophy, has there been a great breakthrough in philosophy? Has there ever? No, I think so. I think there has been progress. I think some of the things I am a bit critical of, Nick Bostrom, for example, I think is interesting talking point. But I'm very critical of his simulation hypothesis. It's non-scientific. It is a true philosophical theory, but then it is subject to the same rigorous ridicule of other philosophical theories that are based on hypothetical universes and made up things. That same simulation hypothesis can be used to prove that we're all living inside cans of cosmic tuna, or that the evil demon is controlling everything, or the flying spaghetti monster generated all the universes, right? Well, there are more possible spaghetti monsters dancing on the head of a pin than there are real universes, so therefore we must all be the dreams of flying spaghetti monsters dancing on the top of pins, right? Like I'm simplifying a little bit, but yeah. My biggest critique of Mr. Bostrom would be a critique that has existed already from the creation of maps, right? So we have the famous, and it applies to anything that is to be simulated, right? Anything that is to be simulated cannot be of the same level of complexity as the thing it is simulating. Yeah, by definition. So you had this in the 16th century, I think earlier actually. King of France. This is a little funny story, a little philosophical story. King of France came along to his chief map maker and said, "Monsieur, please, I'm now the king of unified France. I require a map of my kingdom, not just any map, but the most perfect map in the entire world." And he said, "My king, of course, I will do my absolute best." So he went away and got his whole team together, and they filled a whole hall in Paris with this enormous map. They spent months building it, surveying everywhere, making sure everything was correct down to the biggest detail, the smallest detail. And the king came and he said, "Monsieur, this is surely one of the finest maps I've ever seen, but I cannot see the pond that is behind my chateau down in the Loire Valley. It is missing. And there are other details that are just not on there." And he said, "Oh, my king, I'm so sorry. Please give me more time. Let me go away. Let me go and create this perfect map for you." So they went and they went and they got a whole field behind Paris, and they built this enormous map. He had hundreds of people working on it. He spent 6 months building this map, and the king walked out. And it took him a couple of days to walk along and check everything, and he really wanted to get the details right. And he came and he said to his chief map maker, and he said, "Ah, monsieur, this map is beyond compare. Beyond compare. Oh, thank you, my king. Thank you. We really tried this time." Yes, but there's a small cherry tree outside my window. It doesn't appear to be on the map, and there are many small mistakes as well. There's a puddle that I always walk past down the street as I turn down one of the Paris streets. It is not there. And they go, "My king, please, we can do this. Please, I need more time. I need more money." He says, Of course, anything you want." So it takes over a whole village. More than a village, almost a small town. The entire population is building maps. Recruits people from all the towns nearby. They're surveying every day. They're getting every detail right. Starts to get into a little bit of a problem though, and he realizes he can never finish the map. It keeps changing. The puddle dries up. The cherry tree now it's turning to winter. Doesn't have any leaves. And he realizes the only way for him to make the map is to make it the exact same size as France. And he breaks down in tears, unable to complete his king's request. So, this is my attack on Mr. Bostrom. Simulated things can never be as complex as the things they are. Yeah, you cannot have more and more and more simulated things unless you observe all these simulated things. And the simulated things we do observe are not as complex by any order of magnitude as the things that we are, right? So there are not more observed equally complex universes, therefore we are probably not in a simulation, right? Every time we're in a simulation, we see a simulation, it looks like a bloody simulation. It looks like a crappy map, right? Regardless of how good it gets, okay? It still doesn't look the same. It doesn't work the same, yeah? And I think this is undeniable scientific reality, right? Like how many universes of complexity of ours have we observed? Just the one, mate. Yeah. How many crappy simulations have we observed? Plenty, but they're crappy. Yeah. They do not outnumber real universes. Okay. Yeah. And this is also my pretty strong attack on old. Oh no, I love Chuang-Tzu. Yeah. Love him to bits. He's my man, right? Amazing Chinese philosopher. But I got to say, sorry, my dreams. They're interesting and vivid and crazy and weird. Yeah. But I know I'm not the butterfly. Yeah, I look down at my hands. I don't see the time on my watch. The hands are not in focus. It's weird. There's no time of day. It's always in a weird sort of half time of day. You never look at the sun and the stars. You never look at digital clocks. Just, you know you're not the butterfly, mate. Yeah? Yeah? You know you're not. So that is my attack on the simulation hypothesis. Yeah, I've got other points as well. Yeah. Anyway, philosophy. Of course, if the philosophy picks up in a video, I'm going to get distracted. Let's carry on. Robotics. Yes, robotics is huge now. Yeah, robotics is like, you've seen those Boston Dynamics, those big dogs. Yeah, they're killing it. Potentially, literally will be. And information technology. So all of the supported systems, data warehouses, chips, batteries, everything we need to support this. Yeah. Also data structures, yeah, huge advances in how we organize those things for large data, which are all very, very helpful. So yeah, it's all kicking off. We got all the tools, yeah, because that's the important thing for brain-computer interfaces. Before we had all this stuff, before we had the 7-point list of cool new tech and understanding, cannot be done. It is sci-fi, right? It is just the dream, yeah. It is just the dream of the robot's wife. Yeah. Okay. But it cannot be done. Yeah. Now we have the things we need. Yeah. And now the fun begins. It is important to mention the occurrence of various brain-inspired cognitive systems, BSCs, which are gradually becoming more and more popular, in particular, biocybernetics or cognitive science. Yeah. So we are, like many of these technologies, we are approaching it from both ends. So like a good example is artificial wombs. Yeah. So we not only are able to, sort of a similar sort of example of a technology arriving from both ends that speeds up the process of it arriving is artificial wombs, because we have both the increase in successful deliveries of premature babies, right? So we're able to manage that better. So we're both handling when babies arrive better, and then also doing the early insemination, embryonics, and caring after embryos in the early stage. So we're kind of like closing in on both together, right? So sometimes you don't need just a brand, so we don't just need to invent an artificial womb. We can build off artificial insemination technology and critical care technology, right? And both of those can, arrive together. Yeah, which is, and then they've both been tested and rolled out. So it amplifies the system. The same is true for this technology, because not only are we getting better at the relating signals and building implants and all that kind of stuff, but we're also building brain-inspired cognitive systems. Our AIs are based off neurons, right? So we have swarm intelligence models. We have hierarchical neural nets that are resembling the way that we think brain architecture works. So we are arriving at this technology from both ends, yeah, which is, again, it means it's arriving faster than we initially thought, yeah, which is awesome, right? Especially for this technology, I think, which is gradually becoming more and more popular, in particular, biocybernetics or cognitive science. Yeah, due to the fact that the analysis of biological signals has become one of the most important diagnostic methods in many areas of research, biological and medicine areas. Yeah. So we're also, aside from building, my robot eye, yeah, and my advanced AI assisted brain, which is one of the potentially scarier areas of this technology. We're also just doing the work for things like medical imaging, right? So we're turning scans into data, brain scans into data, auditory signal processing into data, just for the process of doing medicine. So again, attacking it from both ends. Good stuff. One of the most important aspects of biomedical data analysis, which is the predominant author's scientific interest, so these guys are biomedical guys, which is, it makes sense that it's one of the strongest areas, right? And again, the most tested, the most rigorous, the highest safety standards, a scientific grounding of it. You know, like if I'm gonna trust people, you know, if I'm gonna line up a bunch of like science nerds, right? And I'm like who should I trust? Like I got the biomedical science doctor dudes, right? Working with patients, trying to save lives, really care about what they're doing, right? And I got a bunch of tech AI guys. Yeah, I'm picking these guys every time. Yeah, you know, it's like you know, who do you want to build your airplane? You know, like a bunch of like aeronautical engineers, like who have rigorous safety standards, checklists, everything has got to be on point, a strong tradition of you know, like excellence and perfection. We're a bunch of hackers. You know, like I ain't jumping in their plane. Okay, so yeah, so like you know, big respect for the medical profession, strong scientific and rigorous background, incredibly high safety standards, you know, like at its best, which is in the research area rather than some of the practitioners, cares absolutely about human flourishing, works with stakeholders like patients and patient groups. Like it's just, they're just miles ahead in terms of like producing safe technology, you know, safe human-centric technology than the tech bros. Okay, like these guys, no. Okay, at the moment, yeah, yeah. In particular, signals is a desire. So yeah, with the predominant scientific interest being signals, biological data analysis of signal processing, yeah, things like auditory signals, for example, probably would be my guess, is a desire to develop a perfect, ideal, intuitive human-machine interface to which brain-computer interfaces belong. It'll be presented in detail further in this work. Yeah. It has been mentioned above, human-machine interfaces are currently playing more and more important role in human lives. Yeah, so this is the broader category. Human-machine interfaces include all the things that we're interacting with, you know, but rather than brain, you know, so your phone is a human machine interface. Yeah, it's a pretty slow touch typey prod one finger way, but it's, you know, it's revolutionized the way that we interact with machines. Absolutely. Because most modern human-machine interfaces enable direct communication between an external device and a human, so there is no need to use other control equipment such as a mouse and a keyboard. Yeah, so we're moving away from that, you know, something else, and just going directly to the machine. Such systems can also help handicapped users interact with the external environment in a more direct, user-friendly, and intuitive way. This is the stuff. Like, you know, you can tell by the way these guys are writing, that's what they're passionate about. You know, and good on them, right? Because that is the dream of this technology. This is, you know, this is to give sight to the sightless, to let, you know, men and women walk again, who've lost the use of their legs. This stuff is powerful stuff. Some of the listed below newest human-machine interface systems apply various biomedical systems for control purposes. So here I'm gonna butcher these words. This is where I'm out of my wheelhouse. So I don't know these technologies, these kind of like imaging and electrical signal technology. So electromyography, EMGs, yeah, electroculography, EOGs, don't know these, and brain signals, electroencephalography, which is an awesome word. I love encephalo. Yeah, electro of the folded brain imaging would be EEG, or electrocardiography, which I think is the external one where it's on the top. Yeah, ECOG, and these are all brain computer interfaces. And then the human, what's the HCIs, which is what's HCI? Uh, here's a human machine interface is HMI. Maybe it means HMI. It hasn't defined HCI. Okay. Human computer interfaces. Yeah, okay, there we go. Can be divided into the two following categories. Okay. Neural prosthesis, which is cybernetic alternative for a limb, or other smaller part, so it could be an eye, it could be a limb, finger, it could be anything that is connected to a nerve. Yeah. Could be a genital. I'm sure that will happen. Neural prostheses, which are a cybernetic alternative for limbs using nerves connected with muscles, right? Okay, so we've got cybernetic alternatives there. And then brain-computer interfaces, which detect human decision through electromagnetic pulses directly from the brain. Yeah. So this is it. We've done the definitions. Okay, we got through it all with only one major bungle. HCI, human computer interfaces. I'll do a little read up on some of these scanning techniques, and then we can just have a little chat about them, because I don't know that. All the electro are just to me it's pick up turn biological signal into electrical signal, have a way of picking it up either from the skin or from the nerves or from the brain or from the skull or whatever, or from the movement of muscles or however it works, and then turn it into signal, right? That's my current understanding of it, which is not great. So and then I'll have a little read about it, and then we can have a chat about it next time, so we can do a bit of learning together. Okay, cool. So that's the introduction. As I said, love this area. So cool. It is sci-fi now. This is RoboCop. This is like we can rebuild him, and it's happening now, and it is awesome. See you all soon, guys.